I want to blow up the fucking government.
Oh, it's a great way to start.
Yeah, man. Anyways, a lot of stuff happened in the world of Cape shit.
Did you forget? Did you forget that we usually start somewhere? We start with Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
I'm June. This is the geek side. We got rid of Seth. We
You know
swapped
what?
out for another
You know
white
what?
boy.
You know what?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sorry. Yeah, apparently Seth had a coke addiction that we didn't know about, and they stole money from little kid fundraisers. Apparently, we didn't find out. So now we have our friend Bryce Levac on, and we're rebranding from the geek side
No,
to
that
Regenerate Talk.
that legitimately happened to a teacher of mine in middle school.
You're
Except it was
fucking
with
no.
heroin. It was with heroin instead. Like he I'm took the I'm pretty sure he took the money like for a Florida trip to Disney or something like that, and like stole it. And he was also like a heroin user.
Did he use it to buy heroin?
What?
Did he use it to buy heroin, or was it just the business?
I think he. I mean, I'm sure he used it to buy heroin as well, but I just know he stole it at the very
Hold on,
least.
hold on. Heroin's the one where you stick like a fucking needle into like the vein, right?
Yes.
That's heroin. Yeah.
Well, it's
Okay.
not just exclusive to that. I mean, that's the most common way. But
Oh man, I couldn't be a
you can
drug
consume
addict.
it.
It's too much work to be a drug addict. You feel me? It's like you gotta take the needle. You gotta find a specific spot for it. You gotta put just enough to get
I
you high,
mean,
but not enough
if
to
you
get you
want it bad
overdose.
enough, it's
Mm.
like
What?
chocolate milk. I have a chocolate milk addiction.
You know what
On
chocolate milk
paper,
addiction?
yes.
I feel like it's
Like,
code for something.
do you like
I don't
black
know how
women?
to feel about
Is
that.
that something? Right? You
Don't
Yeah,
look
I
into
don't. I
it.
don't know how to
Don't
feel
look
about that.
into it. Don't look into it.
Hmm.
does 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 Miss Wheel know that you have a thing for chocolate milk?
Yes, she does.
No. Well, I guess the relationship is strong enough to last even with your chocolate milk addiction.
Yeah.
We all have our
I remember
vices,
one
okay?
time. I remember one time I was it's me and you, Bryce. We were on the road. I think
Mhm.
we were going to Comic-Con.
Why was
It was
Bryce
back in like
going
2019.
to
It was like back in 2019.
Why was Bryce going to Comic Con with a minor? You want to
Hey,
explain
don't
that,
worry
Bryce?
about it. Don't
Explain that,
don't worry
Bryce?
about
Yeah,
it.
don't
Don't worry
worry
about it.
about it. Don't
Don't
worry
worry
about
about
it.
it. It was a field trip. It was a field trip. It's not weird. Anyways, I remember.
Bryce
Don't worry.
took
There
the
was
And
short
he
bus.
had
parental.
the
There was
GPS
parental
on.
supervision.
Yeah, but he had the GPS on, and I'm just enjoying the sights, the sights of the country and all that. We're on the highway. It's middle of nowhere, right? And I'm just doing my thing. And he's driving and all that, and all of a sudden, there's this notification that comes up. And I'm like, oh, okay. I usually mind my business, but I'm a little bored. And he asked me, oh, can you read it for me? And I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And I read the message. It's from someone named Alicia. And I was like, it's kind of weird.
Oh,
All right, buddy. And then read it out loud. And you know what it said? You remember what it said?
what?
Oh, I'm asking Bryce. You know what it said? You remember? It was a bit weird, wasn't it? Do you remember, buddy? You don't? Oh, okay.
I'm waiting.
Okay. I'm just saying, apparently, the his liking of chocolate
Ty, I'm getting.
milk. Really? You're not? You're not? You're not getting it?
I wasn't.
What
No,
Ty?
no, I didn't hear what you were saying.
What Ty is trying to say is you be posing your fucking superhero squad figures on her back when you're blowing it out. That's what Ty's trying to say. That's what Ty's trying to say.
No, man, I'm just
If
saying.
she doesn't let me
like,
play with my toys on her back, then I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just not
I'm
not
just
a
saying, man.
relationship. If I can't take my Giant Man figure and
Mhm.
beat my Wasp figure with it, then it's just not a relationship I'm interested in pursuing, really.
Oh man, we at the geek side. I mean, Regenerate Talk do not condone sexual abuse, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but
maybe.
if you buy the $20 third tier of Regenerate Talk, you might
Jesus, we
get
haven't
the
mentioned that in forever.
abuse tier. You might get the abuse tier. I was genuinely thinking about just like making like a fake
What
Patreon page that just has like
what would
racism
be
tier.
like the most expensive like what would we say is like something that people would pay for and we do, but we'd really have to like hike up the price? What would be like
It's
the
just,
worst thing?
You'd have to like
actual
talk
video.
about like.
Like
I feel
it's
like
like
we'd have to like talk about. Mm, I gotta think.
the highest tier is like $50 in its price going into like the inner city and yelling the N word hard R. That's the that is the highest tier.
No, you know
Uh,
what the highest tier should be? We just talk about manga. That's it. We just talk about
oh
manga. That's it.
man.
Manga talk. That would be funny. It's like misogyny tier, racist tier, and then manga tier. That's the hardest thing for us to talk about.
Oh man. Oh man. And it's not just like regular manga. It's like we're talking about like lollies and shit. It's not like Dragon Ball Girl. We're talking about like
Did you read Dragon Keeper Girlfriend number 76? Oh my god, that issue was crazy.
oh man. Cape
So, in
Cape shit.
recent news though, I feel like we should cut to the point about the Batgirl news.
Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead.
Oh goodness. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I wasn't really excited for it, but then again, I'm not really excited for most DC projects, so it's kind of not like I'm not trying to sound like one of those like Snyder people that are like, oh, I don't give a shit about your SJW shit. I just don't have the stomach to really care about Cape shit like I used to anymore.
And I
The
kind of
super
feel bad.
yeah.
The directors was at the wedding. At a wedding while they did that. That's crazy. Imagine they probably didn't even call them. Like they probably like
No, they
somebody
just
probably
sent out
leaned
the
over and just told them.
dude. You didn't tell us that your movie was canceled. What? Like honestly, you're probably 100% right. Like probably most of the cast and crew did not find out until legit. Like it was just out there on the fucking internet. Like, which is really
Oh,
sad.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad. Well, I don't
when
kind of
are they
feel
going
bad.
to
I
cancel
do
the
feel
Flash?
bad. Truly,
When are they going to cancel the Flash?
they're
Cancel that
not.
Yeah.
shit.
They're not.
Cancel that
That's
shit.
way too expensive. It's way too expensive.
Real.
See,
They're
to me,
not.
how is that not a tax write-off? Like I get in this case, like you have that be the tax. So I don't know. I don't really get it. I guess I don't understand the tax write-off situation because like they can tax write-off Batgirl, but they won't tax write-off the Flash.
I think the thing is like they just don't consider HBO Max profitable anymore, which is
Real.
really weird. Like it's
Yeah,
really weird. Like that. It's I guess like maybe their HBO Max originals just aren't doing what they need to do anymore. I'm guessing that's it. And I guess HBO Max kind of turned into more of a hub for like general movie watching. You know, that's
yeah.
stuff that's just owned by HBO and, movies that they just buy the rights out to for like a month rather than their actual originals. I'm just
Watch
guessing. I don't really know.
watch DP,
No.
by the way. Everybody out in the audience. I love DP. DP
Oh, I
is so
love
good.
DP. I love
Yeah,
DP.
DP is so good. Dog
Honestly, I
porn. I'm
kind
not
of
talking
hope
about
that.
Doom Patrol. I'm talking about dog porn. Watch dog porn.
What?
What?
I kind of hope that some of those shows aren't canned necessarily and they just become HBO originals because
Pitat.
there's some
Pitat.
talented people behind them. What?
I don't imagine that
Addict.
happening, honestly. I
Addict.
feel like most of the HBO Max originals are just gonna get like unless it's like something that's like actually really profitable somehow, or like has had a lot of like traction behind it, I think they're all going to get canceled. And I don't think any HBO Max originals have gotten like that much recognition, even on like
Peacemaker. What is
not even
Peacemaker?
No.
Peacemaker, but like
No.
that's like the only one I can think of that had like legitimate like
Yeah.
traction behind it. Everything else,
HBO
nope.
Yeah, HBO Max compared to like HBO originals, they just don't do the same numbers. It's really
Oh, yeah.
odd in a way, because I would think that, like, you have your own streaming service. I feel like people would watch that, but I guess
Well,
not.
I feel like it's a combination of A, they don't market them, and B, it just looks like they look cheap, like based on the posters and all that. Like they don't
yeah.
look like that high class. I feel like the only one that got like relatively more talked about than most of the others was that Our Flag Means Death. That was the only one I heard like any outside buzz about. But everything else, nope. Like
Yeah.
it's very like flaccid talk. And like in that case, that's just a matter of like reorganizing and just being like, okay, like, well, let's just make better. I mean, that's hard to say, but like, just look outward more to more creative talents and be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get some big names in here, or like maybe even unknown names, and just like have some like puff piece type streaming shows come out, and I don't know.
Static Shock. Static Shock.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be canceled. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Like I've come to accept that. I've come to accept that. You know,
You're just gonna have
it's been a hard grieving process. You know, honestly, I just feel like I feel like all those movies with like black people that DC announced during fandom in 2020 was really just them virtual signaling. Like,
oh,
like
100%.
except like like the static one that I kind of accept that they let that one go. The Black Clark Kent one, I'm really okay with letting that one go. Like I didn't even really want that in the first place, and as long as Michael B. Jordan gets the Cal-Zod movie made, I'm really fine with that. But if they cancel the Cal-Zod movie, whew, okay, that's
that's gone.
Cancel that
That has
Cal-Zod
to be
movie.
gone.
No, it can't be. No, it doesn't make sense because like, why would it be gone already? Which that was last year.
Why would Batgirl be gone? That movie was almost done, and they like, dude, I am trying to understand a lot of these decisions, and I get the Batgirl situation on a financial level somewhat. Like if the tax write-off was like really that big of a money thing, then like okay, I get it. But like it's still just really scummy and weird to me that they can like very quickly get rid of Batgirl. I don't know. It's just weird to me. All of it's very weird and just fishy. Like
I feel like they're investing in the wrong things somehow. Like it's like a weird thing to say. But.
Well, I get that I get also that like Batgirl was being made under previous management, and now the new management is coming in and like basically like cleaning house, so to speak. Most definitely cleaning house. But it's also weird to me that like you wouldn't just like put it out there and like whatever you make. Like, because I feel like you could make decent money with Batgirl. Like, do what you did with during the pandemic. I get that was a lot more desperate times, but do what you did during the pandemic, where it's an HBO Max first day movie and it comes out in theaters. And I feel like you would have to make some money off of that, at least a decent enough amount to justify it. Just change the release date, because if it did come out in December, yeah, it would do shitty, because that's when fucking Avatar and even Shazam comes out. Like it would have been awful. But if you release it during like end of January, it could do okay, I think. Like, or even February. Do it like February, Valentine's Day weekend, and you'd be like probably better off.
Oh man, going back to the whole Superman thing. Remember when they were talking about how they didn't know how to make Superman like relevant for the time? Remember that whole thing about that whole thing, right? I think that was code for how they they just canned all the Superman projects, including the Val Sod shit. So we're not seeing that movie. We're not seeing
we are seeing it. We are seeing it. I just don't
I
think that they know how to. I think they just don't know how to make like a Superman story. Like it's really weird. It's weird. Like how do you have like you've got DC Comics like right there next to you, and they're making all their Superman stories. You've got Superman Lois on CW. You've got a whole archive of just Superman content at the ready. And then you've just got like what 6 or 7 board members just going, "Well, I don't know Superman is. Yeah, that's getting bored of the kids." I don't know.
Oh man, I think it's a mix of both, like the audience and it's like the board members, because it's like the board members
Oh,
see that like
can't
people.
audience.
With how much Superman slander there is in like the world, and like the whole like injustice shit where Superman's been being portrayed as like a god who's like impenetrable. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
like the whole world just doesn't give a shit about Superman anymore. You know?
Oh, no, that's not true at all. I think the thing is, it's just like, and I hate doing this. I really hate doing this because I don't even like, I like the guy. I like the guy. Zack Snyder, I feel like he kind of did something to Superman.
no,
Like,
he
I
did.
kind of feel like he like put like a like why couldn't he do this with Watchmen?
He
Like
soiled
I
the
feel like I
watering
would have
hole.
rather I feel like I would have rathered him make the general population misunderstand how Watchmen meant what Watchmen meant to the comic community, industry, whatever, than
Didn't he?
do
Yeah,
whatever he
a
did.
little bit, a
Didn't he
little
make
bit,
Rorschach kind of cool in that movie?
a little
Yeah, but
bit.
like this,
Yeah,
no, but I mean like on like a much wider scale.
You understand? Like
People
Watchmen
watch Watchmen, they're
is.
like, "Oh, okay, he's cool. He's cool. That was a cool move, man. I want to get him. That's cool." But then you
compared to
get like
Watchmen.
Man of Steel. You get Man of Steel and BVS, and it's like, oh, Superman is tortured. Oh, he's an allegation. He's an illusion for like everything Jesus went through. Like no, no. Like it's like he confused people into thinking certain things about
Jesus
Superman, and
was
it's really
stabbed with a
weird.
kryptonite spear.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because I feel like people got over what happened with Batman sooner than Superman. Like people understood Batman wasn't like that. And they looked at Superman. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that guy's lame. I like this one better."
I
Like,
just
what
think
It's
happened?
'cause, like,
there's
Superman.
just the whole.
Super.
There's,
Yeah.
let
Okay,
me.
you go.
You want to go? Do I gotta do? Okay.
No, you
Um,
go.
I just think there's a lot of Superman, like evil Superman media in like the world nowadays. That's just like kind of desensitized people to like this idea of what Superman should be. It's like, it's like So yeah, we do have Superman and Lois, but that's basically like a smaller scale, like TV, like thing where you have like the boys, Brightburn, shit, like all that, like
Mhm.
in like the world, and it's like, do you know how many motherfuckers are like, if I had Superman's powers in real life, I'd be like Homelander. Like it's like kind of like propaganda in like a way, you know? It's like we're not seeing like Superman like hopeful shit, none of that. We're just kind of seeing like this idea that like power
Yeah,
corrupts.
it's literally what people are thinking. Like, well, Superman would actually be the. It's too many people saying that instead of just being like, no, this is Superman. Like
I
Yeah.
think that's the thing.
Zack
It's like,
Snyder. Like, I think there are some great ideas in Man of Steel. I like the idea of like I like the general idea of like Clark's powers being represented as almost like a mental thing, like a mental not
Mhm.
mental disability, but just like an ADHD, like something like that. Like I, I don't know how to like phrase it, but you get what I'm saying. Like how kids
Yeah.
have like ADHD and it's just like something like they're trying to like deal with and like get through in a way. And
It's
like
just something
I
they
like
have. They
that,
have no control.
but
Yeah.
like the thing that ruins it is Pa Ken. The second they made Pa Ken so like ambivalent to like
Clint Eastwood. Basically Clint Eastwood.
are you should let those fucking kids die. I don't know. I mean, you shouldn't have helped him. You shouldn't have saved.
It's like they made Pa Kent like this toxic male masculinity figure. Like
Yeah.
like I keep going back to like the this scene in BVS where like Clark hallucinates Paquin on like the top of a mountain. He's like, "Yeah, I drowned all the ocean."
Dude, I completely forgot. Like in the moment, that scene literally like went in my brain, went right back out, and then I rewatched the movie like not that long later. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck? Like, what do you mean you drowned another farm?" And like that's like it's such a shitty lesson too, because it's like no matter what you do, Clark, like somebody's gonna get fucking hurt in the end, and you're just gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
Like what? That's a stupid lesson.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like
Oh, man.
it's sad that like the best Superman media we've gotten film wise is like in Zack Snyder's Justice. Like somehow in his Justice League movie he got it right, but that's only because forgivably Superman isn't in that movie that much.
No.
Like
Yeah.
if he was in it more, then I would have been bored to tears and been like, "Why are you? Why is Superman trying to kill the Justice League?" But
I think the thing is with like people misunderstanding Superman is that you kind of, I think, between like 2007, like really just the rise of the MCU. I'm sorry, but it is the rise of the MCU. I think the MCU kind of it led everyone to like believe that there was some kind of misunderstanding about superheroes, that they weren't really like as we kind of left behind the kind of campy, oh hey, we're friendly and all that kind of stuff, and rather like, yeah, I'm gonna go over to this foreign country, blow stuff up, and like I'm cool now, I'm a superhero. I feel like is like you know the media kind of changed, and we kind of changed our views on how our superheroes really worked. It kind of left behind like the hope and friendliness of like having somebody to believe in, and kind of just went to fight, 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 fight constantly,
yeah,
constantly. And it just indulges in this power fantasy that if if you want to be like your superhero, you have to beat people up really bad every time and don't learn the consequences of your actions that maybe battles could take. Take for example an Avengers movie. They didn't save anybody.
No.
Their entire their entire gimmick was avenging people, but even when they tried to save people, they just blew up an entire country.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they
that's
did
not
get people out of there.
Yeah, they helped get people out of there, but
To
for
be
the
fair,
most part,
they did save people. In my opinion, they saved people. I get that it was like in terms of like estate damages, they fucking suck.
Mhm.
But like actually saving people, like I feel like in the first two
Okay, but
Avengers
it's
movies, they focus on it.
but it's like okay, it's like there's a difference between like saving faceless people, and then you have one of the more hopeful towards the later half superhero movies, the Batman, where he's like actually like you see the human connection between Batman and the civilians. He's like you can see that there's some sort of connection going on there,
Yeah.
or even like this is like one of my favorite scenes in a superhero movie in the Amazing Spider-Man when
He's
Peter
helping the
saves
kid.
that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's so good. Like that's so good.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like we kind of became disillusioned towards what a superhero is really supposed to do. And even though the Amazing Spider-Man wasn't really perfect,
Fuck off.
I feel like
How about you shut the fuck
that
up, you
duology, it
Batman
really
fan? I'll
put a
beat
good
the shit out of
emphasis
you.
on what it meant to be a superhero. And I'm just glad it did that.
Yeah, I agree. I also think you kind of touched on it a little bit, like how like people like flipped out about how Batman was mischaracterized in BVS, but they didn't really do it as much with Superman. I also think like it kind of feeds into the fact that like Superman hadn't had a movie like since the 80s until like 2006. And then like 7 years later we get Man of Steel. Like he has had such large gaps in his filmography ever since the 80s that like you know, like, whereas Batman, like, ever since '89, you have had at least
movie
like
on
5
movie.
Batman movies. Like, you've
Oh,
had at least 3 Batman movies per decade. If I'm doing my math
Yeah.
right, I'm pretty sure we've had at least 3 Batman movies per decade. Like,
uh-huh.
whereas Superman, nope. Like, he could go on hiatus for as long as he fucking wants, and like, yes, he'll come back eventually, but like, with what face, in what form will he
Yeah.
take, and like, how much more brutal or how much more disillusioned will he become? Like, and that's just a
Yeah.
sad thought to me. Like, why do people have to keep thinking, oh, Superman wouldn't actually be like that? Like, okay, then you're a fucking dickhead. Like, you're a monster more likely. Like, you have no hope for the human race. Which, I mean,
It's
I
really
get it
weird.
nowadays, but like, still.
Mhm. It's really weird to me that like it wasn't even like June, you said that like, you know, we've become less hopeful because of stuff like the boys and Invincible and all that. But none of that was, I mean, like it was out, but technically it wasn't as mainstream as Man of Steel and BVS were at the time. So I feel like it's really strange that like, oh god, that's really messing me up. That like in a way, I kind of feel like those nightmare sequences were really what like made people realize. Cause Cause I feel like with those sequences where he kind of ran like a regime and nobody really
Yeah, they had that
understood that
shit in
none of
the
the
fucking
anti-life equation.
promos. That was in the promos. Like, they were just showing
Ugh.
Superman, like, immediately being like, "Ugh, yeah, I got these fucking Nazi swastika. Like, I basically have, like, my Superman symbol as a swastika on these guys' arms, and I'm gonna laser these guys real quick and then, like, punch a hole in Batman's chest. Congratulations, you have accomplished the writing feat of writing Superman as bad. Here's a
And it
pat on the
really didn't
back.
help either.
Yeah.
It didn't help either that his introduction in BVS was just him flying over to the Middle East, blowing up a bunch of people, and just killing, like just basically blowing up an entire village just to save Lois
Well,
Lane.
no,
Like,
no.
I
He
won't do
he
that.
he didn't blow up the village. Remember, Lex Luthor framed him,
Oh
and
yeah,
like
he framed him. Yeah.
he shot him, and then he burned their corpses, even though there's still bullets in those corpses, and
Oh
he
man.
fucking framed him so it looked like Superman just laser vision, even though Superman definitely did kill that one guy who he just like piled right through the wall. He killed at least one guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, look at the criticism. Like, I don't know. Like, in Zack Snyder's Justice, like in his Justice League movie, like I felt like he had like accepted the criticism,
Yeah.
like from the first 2 movies, and like made something relatively better
Yeah, he
than
like
the
toned
other
it
2.
down. He
Yeah.
Yeah,
like toned it
he
down a
like
bit.
knew what to
Yeah.
focus on. He still has like some asinine, like that scene where Wonder Woman fucking blows up that building just to kill that one guy, and then immediately
Yeah.
turns around and is like, "Oh, it's okay, sweetie," and is like, trying to comfort her. Like, that scene is.
That Flash scene is
Uh,
probably like one of the best like
Oh,
comic book
people love
moments
that
that did.
scene.
Yeah, that scene go hard.
I think the thing is with that scene is it just like see, I can't even talk about Batman because I feel like it's not just him that really contributed to the whole people believing these weird conceptions about Batman. But the thing is with that scene, it's like he wouldn't really do that. Like, do you really think he would like throw at least like a 150-pound crater at somebody's head? Like who do you think he is?
What do you
Who do
mean?
you think he
What do you
like?
mean?
You remember that scene where he Batfleck during the warehouse scene, he grapples onto like a giant crate and he just flings it off the guy's head.
Yeah, dude, there's this legit like a blood stain that like leaves behind like after he cracks his skull. Like, it's so funny.
It's like,
Like, it's
Oh
always
man.
like,
do that.
it's a cool action scene, but like, you always have to add that but at the end if you're like an actual Batman fan, because it's like,
Yeah.
well, like, he's just like brutal. Like, in the Batman, like, he like beats on people, but he's not like I don't know. it makes more sense because, like, A, it's early stages Batman, and B, like, that's the whole arc of the movie is him figuring out, like, okay, I have to be like less aggressive. Whereas, like, in that movie, it's like they're kind of having that arc of him like becoming like more hopeful and less aggressive. But like after he decides to spare Superman, he just goes right back to fucking killing people. Like if he had not killed anybody after that point, then it would have been like, okay, like there was an arc there. But he doesn't. He immediately goes back on his word and is like, okay, I don't give a fuck about these guys' moms, and like just mows them down.
I feel like the thing is with like the Batman is like he was brutal, but he's like police brutality brutal like that. He's really not.
What?
Police brutality
he's kind of going
it's
far.
fatal.
It's not like he's kind of going far, but it's not like like that. Like he was like branding people to kind of deserved it because I'm pretty sure he like branded a rapist or whatever. But like he branded people.
Brands them, and then that means that they're gonna get killed and shanked in prison. That's a sign of
like it's crazy.
Which they didn't expand. I don't even think they expanded on that in like the actual in like the theatrical release. But in the extended version, they're like, yeah, that's a death warrant. Like if you have a brand, you're fucked. Like that means like you're a rat basically. Like so Batman like more than likely knows that and is like, well, I'm not killing. Like
yeah, it's like a weird loophole. Like yeah, he doesn't. Like I'm not killing them. It's just
listen. Just because just because I let go of the rope doesn't mean I killed him. Gravity took the rest. Okay, like I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That's real shit. Yeah. That's real shit. Batman and Begins. That's real shit. The fucking final scene.
Don't get me started on Batman Begins. I hate that scene so much.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I don't have to save you. It's not I'll kill you.
To me,
I still have to save you. Like,
people who like hate that scene at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man where he's like, yeah, but those are the best kind. That scene where Batman kills Ra's al Ghul is infinitely worse than that scene at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man.
That scene is still bad, but
it's still bad. But like to me, both of them are still bad. But like people rag on the Amazing Spider-Man more than they do Batman Begins, and I'm sick of it. I'm tired of acting like Batman Begins is like this perfect origin movie for Batman because it's fucking not. Like it does some good stuff. But at the end of the day, it fucks itself over when Bruce is like, I don't have to kill. I'm not going to kill you, but I have to save you. Like, no, you're stupid. You clearly didn't learn a thing throughout this movie, and you didn't learn a thing in the sequel or any of the other movies when you kill other people. Like he kills Talia al Ghul.
I feel like even with like the entire Dark Knight trilogy, there's like some like weird moments where he like kind of gets out of character, like when he drops Maroni like 12 feet off of like a building.
Okay, I actually kind of like that scene where he's like, "This fool won't kill me." He's like, "I'm counting on it." Like just the "I'm counting on it" is like fucking hilarious to me. And then you just hear like the brutal snap of his knees.
It's like
that's a good scene.
Like, oh man. I mean, I'm even like indecisive about the way Harvey went out because it's technically not his fault. But at the same time, kind of like he could have done that better.
He could have done that like 10 times better. He could have like thrown a battering or some shit. He wasn't looking. Like just legit like battering his hand like something. Don't just like tap. Don't just like be like and then like dive at him like went at him like a fucking defensive end in NFL. Like he just like no abandon. Like he was gonna kill himself. He was gonna kill himself and the kid. Like he almost killed himself and the kid because he just threw himself.
That's the thing with that trilogy. Is he just like I think it's so focused on realism that he just like it's just not Batman sometimes. Like why is he moving so slow? Like he tackled Harvey off of the ledge with the kid, then he held on to the kid. He held onto the ledge while holding the kid. He pulled up the kid and he just let go.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
He could just reach up really quick.
Yeah, like, and like he doesn't even like let himself glide. He legit just like falls. He's like, "Fuck!" It's almost like he's like, "Fuck! I killed somebody. I'm just gonna try to kill myself. If I die, I die." Like,
Exactly. Oh man, those movies, and I don't even want to talk about The Dark Knight Rises because honestly, I think the worst scene in that movie for me is like it's like okay, it's first of all, it's like a giant cop battle. I don't even want to get into that, but when he's like facing Bane, and
listen,
I feel like
if you're gonna have
he knows that the thing is
against
keeping him alive,
indiscriminate
and he just breaks it.
if you're gonna have a battle against indiscriminate like a bunch of minorities henchmen, you got to get the
Mhm.
police. That's the most effective tool. Okay, Batman was onto something. Batman was onto something.
Like
He knew
I just
who he was recruiting.
it's just like some type of like it just feels weird now looking back at it. Just I'm
Yeah.
kind of yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. All those police. You didn't like them. You didn't like them about 8 years ago, but whatever. And then he like while he's fighting Bane, he knows that that mask keeps him alive, and he just breaks it. It's just like that's just gonna nerf him a little bit. I just shouldn't hurt him. He'll recover from it. Like no, it's keeping him alive. He needs to breathe.
Yeah. Honestly, if Selena didn't pull the trigger, he definitely would have. He would have fucking like he would have aimed for the head. He would have been like, "Yeah, suck on that. You try breathing through that." Like he would have said some dumb shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
It would have been
It's
it would have been the Dark Knight Rises version of the no, but I know how you got these, and then he like hits Joker with the gauntlet batarangs.
I don't know. There's so many weird mischaracterizations of Batman. Like even when I just think about it now, like even like in The Dark Knight Returns when he's like going to um interrogate that guy. I don't really remember his name or whatever, but he's like a mutant person, whatever. No, he works Two-Face. I remember, and he pulls up at his apartment. He's like scaring him, and then he crashes the window, and he's like, "You're gonna bleed out in like 3 minutes unless I take you to a hospital." Why did you do that? Like it's like the weird brutality that that people give Batman sometimes. It's very
Well, to
clear
me,
that
like, story it makes sense because like Bruce is like getting back. It's like he is young again. And he's like getting back into it. He's like, I forgot how like fucking like rushed. Like he's like being overzealous, and like that's the whole point of that story is that he is being overzealous and
yeah,
like taking things too far in a sense. But
yeah.
people just either forgot or like didn't understand that, and they made
Hmm.
that Batman like that is his mode now.
Yeah, it's that whole thing is just weird, man. Like, it's like even like the Arkham games in a way they just kind of made Batman like cold and unfeeling. Like that entire game series across like 4 games if you're including Arkham Origins. He just well, I'm not including Arkham Origins because I guess
Yeah,
he had
our
Bender and
Origins actually
Alfred.
like yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
Origins does the best at actually like making him like seem human and like
yeah.
not like he's
Like
just
for three
like
movies, he's basically a robot for 3 movies. Like even when
okay.
Talia died, he just kind of shrugged it off. Like it didn't really like offend him at all or
Yeah, even
anything.
in the DLC that like takes place afterwards, it's just like he hasn't been the same, and like in the cutscenes, he'll just be like, "Well, Harley, fuck you, bitch," and like he just like continues business as usual.
It's weird. It's very weird. I
It
don't
honestly is kind of weird how like little advantage they took of like Joker dying, and like because like to me it'd be a really interesting idea if like they explored the fact that like Joker dying affected Batman more than Talia dying.
right.
Like if he was more not upset by it, but like affected by that.
Hmm.
Like because that's like a really
They could
interesting
have
angle
gone
to take
places
it.
with that.
Yeah. That's
They
why
really could
that's
have
why
gone places with
I
that Arkham Knight.
That's why I firmly stand on the fact that Arkham Knight should have been the son or even daughter, if you wanted to, of Batman and Talia. Basically like a Damian Wayne type situation, except you could change the name, and that way you can have your cake and eat it too, where it's like it's an original character, but it's like based off of like a pre-established character as well. Instead of just doing Jason Todd, even though we've never fucking mentioned Jason Todd.
Yeah, they forced him in. It's just weird. Like the way they inserted him it was fine, I guess. It's like a little unsettling. Oh, he was at Arkham the whole time, but like it's just like I feel like it was like it's not just that it was too predictable. It's just so bland. It's unoriginal. Like, oh, he wants to get revenge on Batman, and then like next minute he just turns around, he saves Batman. There's no build up, there's no conversation. They just fight, and maybe Jason says like a few mean things about Batman while they're fighting, and that's about it. That's all we're getting.
The Joker raped me, Batman. Shout out Legion of Geeks for that asinine theory.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck, June. Fuck off.
Yeah, this is what happens when we leave June too quiet. Gets distracted.
June gets quiet and just starts sending gay porn to the chat.
Hey man, my shelf doesn't consist of just fucking 30 Batman books, so I kind of get lost in those conversations. However, my shelf does consist of 30 fucking Spider-Man books. You want to talk about Spider-Man? I fucking love Spider-Man,
bro. Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of sleeping on comic-wise. I am sleeping on Spider-Man a little bit. It hasn't been like terrible, but it hasn't been good either.
Nah. I'm reading it just because it's the only thing I have left.
That's the thing with you Spider-Man readers. It's like one week you hate it, and next week you go, "Oh, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool."
They hinted that Mary Jane and Peter might get back together again.
Hey man, we're just going through what Tom King and Tom King Batman fans were going through. We should don't do that.
No, you're not.
You're not even reading it. You're not even reading it.
Honestly,
get off my bed.
I'm reading it, June. I'm reading it. All I'm saying though, this is 10 times worse than the Batcat situation. Like the Batcat situation pisses me off, but like the Spider-Man situation will always be infinitely worse because they were married for 20 some odd years before some fat dude just came off the streets and was like, "Well, I don't want that. Like he should be fucking other bitches and he should."
You talking about Castada?
Yeah. The general Marvel brass at that time. Like, ever since they got married, they were trying to tear them down. They were legit the biggest haters. Like, people online are like, "Oh, I'm preying on their downfall." No, they were literally like are the epitome of that sentiment. Except it's a fictional case and it's kind of even sadder.
Oh man, yeah. I'll dick right the shit out of Superior though. I'll dick right the shit out of that book regardless. That shit was peak. To this day.
I haven't finished it yet, but
Elijah Jordan Nash, aka EJN Films, who's probably listening to this when it uploads, can actually come suck this fucking dick because that's all you gonna be on. You're gonna be on my fucking dick, bro. On talking about you like Superior. Of course I like Superior. That shit fucking peak. With your mid-man. What the fuck has Wolverine done in the past couple of years? Oh, yeah, he was dead for a little bit. And what has Cyclops been? Huh? Character assassinated, bruh. At least when my character gets assassinated, we come back 10 times stronger. What has Cyclops fans got in, like, the past fucking 10 years? Oh, he got cut to Wolverine. What the fuck? Come suck his dick, Eli. I ain't kidding with you no more, bruh. Come suck his dick, bruh. He's on my shit. Always hating, bruh. There's white boy. Living in Georgia, working at Kroger, bitch ass.
I know you wanted to say something else after you said I know you wanted to say something else so badly. Like, yeah,
The whole time I was like, is he gonna like slip? Is he gonna slip at any point? I was like waiting for something more.
No. Egan gonna catch these fucking hands, that fucking white boy. I'm getting sick of the Superior Slender every single time I go mid-man. He's like, oh, you like Superior. Ah, of course I like fucking Superior. That book is epic. Oh, man, Superior would have been such a fucking good send-off to Slot's run, but they had him do Asian fetish books for like a couple like years.
Asian what do you mean Asian
Silk.
fetish books?
Silk.
Oh.
What do you mean? Silk. It's like the
Yeah.
first full appearance of Silk. You want to know how it ends? It ends with her and Peter trying to fuck.
No, yeah, I remember. It's like their pheromones or whatever they say. It's
They're
like
spider pheromones.
yeah. Jessica Drew could canonically fuck anybody in the Marvel universe. Where's that book at, huh? Spider-Woman fucks the Marvel universe and she just uses her pheromones on everybody.
Oh man.
Who is the father?
Oh, Secret Empire. I've been seeing a lot of Secret Empire slander a lot lately. I don't know why. There's just been a resurgence of that.
To me, it's bullshit. All the Secret Empire slander was always bullshit to me. People like just slander in general just gets me angry because people will fucking talk about Heroes in Crisis. They'll talk about Secret Empire. They'll talk about what the fuck else? Like even like Doomsday Clock to an extent. They'll talk about how much that pisses them off, or how it shits on this character, or how, oh my god, you're really gonna shit on Alan Moore's characters, or blah, blah, blah. Like they get so up in arms about it. But the second something actually good comes out, like a Rorschach or the recent Flash book, they are silent. People like are fucking like quieter than church mouse when it comes to actually good con. I don't know. I think that's a saying, but like
it is church mouse.
It is okay, but people are fucking silent when a book is actually good.
Real.
People love to hate.
Oh, yeah, people love to hate. And like I get it. I love to hate too. But
Real.
like actually read and like promote books that you enjoy. Like that's why I fucking hate like that's another reason why I hate Comic Booker, other than the fact that he's just like ignorant, is because like he focuses on what?
I was just talking about how he's like a xenophobe and shit like that. But I'm just saying, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time I hop on his fucking story, just like Opstock, because that's just real shit. I just be Opstocking like that. And it's also because it's like every single fucking story he has, he's just he's just the fucking dick writing this shit about how modern comics are like horrible, and he's always just hating them. I have not seen this motherfucker like show a book that he like likes, like genuinely.
Yeah, I have like this weird instinct that he only likes books from like the Lee Kirby area where like the Marvel bullpen was just like literally they were like really stressed out and they just needed to push out everything, and even like the most politically incorrect stuff.
Oh,
he just loved it. Everything about it.
It's like I could. It's like I could deal with the hate as long as you just talk for once in your fucking miserable basement dwelling gatekeeping ass life. Just talk about a book you fucking like.
That is the thing. If I could understand what these people actually like, then I wouldn't get so upset about like them hating.
No, that's the thing. I kind of get what they like. They like the whole fucking manga like whole shebang where it's like fucking like this fucking 14-year-old has like big massive boobies and big ass and fucking curves and shit. But the thing I don't get is like I can comprehend why they like that. I just can't comprehend where that is in comic book. It's like I think Booger hates like the 90s where that shit was prominent, and he hates like the 2000 shit too. So it's kind of hard to like find a timeline of where these people like the books, you know?
I'm telling you, it's the 60s. It's definitely the 60s. 60s, the 70s, all that. Probably loves it, eats it up.
Oh, man.
Whatever is just the traditional conservative, like, Because I think I saw in a story like yesterday or something. It was like, what do you expect from like a godless world now, or something like that, acting like people's lack of religion is like the fault for half the problems today. And it's like,
No.
Wait, we're gonna find out that like Booger's father or like his grandfather founded the comics code, and then it's just gonna make sense. We're like, oh yeah, there we go.
Oh
There we go.
man, don't get me started with comic book. I'm getting so fucking. I be op stocking, but it's like every single time I op stock, I send it into like the chat. We fucking laugh at it, but it's like how much fucking hate can a person? This is coming from me, by the way. I be like praying on motherfuckers down. I be manifesting that shit too. How much hate can one dude have for like a specific shit where he just like he it's like he's like reading and like watching all the shit that he hates, right? How much hate does a motherfucker have to just like blow through something you just like don't like?
yeah,
Like an
like,
hour. It's like
no, I can't like. And it's always like we said, like it's just hating. It's never like talking something like in a positive light. It's like if he does mention something positively, it's to tear down something else. And like in some
Right.
instances, like comparison can be good, and it's like, oh, I just like learn like comparison and analysis like can be pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but like he always does it like, oh, you'd never see this type of shit in manga, or you Steve Ditko never would have done that. Like it's always like so backhanded. It's just like it's just annoying at this point, and like I don't even know. There's only so much anyone can really say about people like that, and especially with the recent Batgirl news. Like I saw him celebrating that, and it's like, oh, thank God, the SJW Batgirl movie is dead. Whoa! And it's like, I mean, good for you, man. I don't know what it was affecting, but good on
it's
you, I
like
guess.
he's like one of those same people that like will defend like sexualizing comic book women by saying like if you don't like it, don't read it. But then like it's like turns around like face word and he's like just like he like buys. That's the whole fucking thing I don't get with like those like comics gate anti SJW people. It's like they're buying the books to read. Like there's videos of them just like buying books and just like ripping them and tearing them apart, and it just gets to me. And it's like, why would you spend money on that? Why would
I
you
think
do
like
that?
a lot of people just consume media with jade tinted glasses, whatever it is now, whatever it
Rose
is. Like
tinted.
like a lot of rose tinted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Where like people they just kind of like they just watch something, consume something, just to criticize it, just to hate it, because they know that like I think the thing is like I think you kind of lose like your validity as like a critique if you didn't even end up like buying it. Like it's like I understand you want to critique it for your little cutagen or whatever. Fine, like fine. You were very free to do that, but I think once you kind of cross the line of like you hate it so much or like you have such an incredible bias towards it that you're opting to just not support the people who made it financially at least. I think it's kind of a weird line where it's like you don't respect the creator or their work, but you kind of have to respect their
Also,
how they make a living. It's like I would rather not watch like a I don't know like a I don't know like a I would have to think because there's not too many people that I would avoid. Whoa. I mean like there's not people that I would watch that I don't like. I don't know. But like for instance, I guess like you want to go watch The Flash, fine. But if you're gonna go critique it, like if
critique
you're
the
gonna go critique
movie
The
and
Flash,
not Ezra Miller being
Yeah.
Ezra Miller.
right,
Yeah.
right. Like don't let Ezra Miller's faults be, the entire
Yeah.
downside of the movie.
Did you guys see the fucking story post where he was talking about? Because like remember there was like that part in like the Superman '78 comic where Jonathan can't kill the little Japanese boy and shit like that, right? And he was talking about.
That's messed up.
You laughing? Why are you laughing like that?
It was messed up.
You know, sometimes, son, when you throw a grenade, there's somebody on the other side of it.
But
Sometimes you drown a farm.
I remember there was just a chord that was struck with me where he was like, this is what modern comics are doing. They're making men look like bitches, and this is his exact word. I'm just neurodivergent, but he was like, this is what modern comics are doing. They're making white men look like pussies and empowering minorities and women. And I was like,
how dare they empower those minorities?
Dude,
how dare
anytime he uses the term unchecked feminine spirit, like, that just like cracks me up, but it also just like it unleashes a rage in me because it's like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Like, that is the most like veiled misogyny I have ever heard in my fucking life. The unchecked feminine spirit. Just say you hate women. Just say just say they belong in the kitchen and you want them to make you a sandwich. Like,
all I'm saying is, if Booger hearing this right now, I got $100 riding on you saying the N-word horror. $100. I can split it with you, 50-50 too. If you just come out, if you just come out the xenophobia closet, stop walking around eggshells and shit. Just if you're gonna say this shit, bro, just fucking do it.
I want that. As much as I want that, I feel like that's another thing. Is like you lose all your validity as like a conservative content creator, quote unquote. you lose all your validity once you like, get racist, which is really weird. Like you could get away with anything, but like once you hit the racist mark, you're just kind of like, oh man.
I mean, to me, like they are racist. It's just a matter of like being like outright,
outwardly. Yeah.
A lot of these like comic book like YouTube like. Especially the ones that are like celebrating like the Batgirl cancellation and all that. It's like, oh, thank God they pulled the cord on that. Like, get this fucking Latino out of here. Like,
they're
like fucking.
Like, there's a difference between calling people like SJWs and like minorities and shit like that, and like really like crafting like this like message where it's like it's racist, but it's not really like outwardly racist compared to just like Booger popping on a story saying like the hard R and shit like that.
It definitely has the undertones like I feel like you can kind of pull everyone in once you start like you can make anyone believe that there is some kind of SJW agenda going on within Hollywood, which to their point, sometimes.
Well, but like there is I mean, there is in the sense that like times are changing. There's more diverse people in Hollywood. And the only way people like I think that's the thing that is like frustrating me nowadays and what people like Booger and like those like I guess like is it Geeks and Gamers see another like prominent racist just people like that. Like what angers me is just like just make your own character. And it's like, would you fucking watch it? No. Nobody would watch it. Like that's why they have to put a Latino woman in the Batgirl suit. It's because then actually it's like there's your representation. Like it's a prominent form of representation. I get it. I would like a comic accurate Batgirl, but I'm not gonna like piss and moan about it just because she's Latina. It really doesn't matter that much in the end, other than the fact that like it gives a nice like sense of like inclusion to like those type of people. Like I wish we had more movies like Black Panther that were like Black Panther was a character that is black originally and was always meant that way, and he's specifically designed to like pretty much bring in black audiences. I wish we had more heroes like that, but frankly, we don't. Not enough heroes that actually like bring in that general interest, and people don't realize that or don't think about that.
It's really weird, like those people who like say, oh, why don't you take a risk? Why don't you just greenlight a film with like an originally black or Latino or whatever character? And then they do, and it's like it flops in the box office because they don't see it. Like, they don't see it. They just want to go and moan on Twitter and talk about it. Like you're just contributing to the problem. Like if you really care about it that much, stop complaining about like I don't know. Like, don't like stop complaining and like
I
did you even
remember.
see Shang-Chi or did you just complain about it? Like, did you really see it? Did you really
Yeah.
care about it,
I
or was it
remember
just
seeing this
something that was
fucking
that just a topic?
Did you
this.
really see Eternals, or did you just care that all of them were like white men in the comics and now they're not?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw this one
And
poster.
it's
It's like this, like it was a fucking.
That is
meme
why
account.
I'm watching El Muerto in theaters to support the support the Latino.
I'll watch that fucking movie in theaters. I'll watch that fucking movie in theaters, bro.
Dude, I saw Morbius. I can't get any lower. I can't get any
Oh
lower at this point.
man. Oh man, I saw this one post by this one fucking meme account. I don't remember who it was, but he was like talking about how like the whole meme was like him like talking about how he's like Hollywood's making like all this like race swapping shit, but they are making like a Static Shock movie, and it was like a couple weeks ago, but I just remember being like, hey, do people like not give a shit enough to really like figure out that like they are like people just aren't doing research about it. They're just hating just to hate.
Yeah.
It's bandwagon
And that's
hating.
another aspect of it. It's like the behind the scenes, like the studio doesn't like have enough faith most times to
Yeah, no,
like
they just don't believe
support
in the
it.
characters.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Like,
It's
why
really
do you think a
crazy.
Static Shock movie hasn't gotten off the ground? Because more than likely, it probably would flop. As much as people like say they want it, it probably would end up flopping or not doing that well.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
not. I mean, the only just look at like Birds of Prey. That movie didn't do that great. Granted,
I read
I
that.
like that movie. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, generally speaking, like movies starring like characters you wouldn't typically think of,
Mm-hmm.
or
El
like
Muerto. El Muerto. El Muerto.
El Muerto, El Muerto. I'm muertoing.
Oh my god.
But
I mean,
yeah, like
I get what you mean, but like,
yeah, it's just like a matter of support and like showing that support. But like, I don't know.
I remember I saw this
That's
video
all.
the other night. There's this guy. He was talking about how the MCU has this like disingenuous sense of diversity, which like, yeah, but like
Yeah.
the thing, like his talking points were like really strange in a way. Like he kept talking about how like Miss Marvel's main weak point was that it kept coming back to like how much it mattered to her, how much it mattered that she was like Desi and Pakistani, and to a
Literally the whole
degree,
point of Miss
it's not
Marvel.
my place to agree. Like it's not.
Literally the whole point of Miss Marvel, though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm to a degree. I'm kind of like yeah, I feel like hammered in with like the bangles and all that. But if you read the comic, you would understand that that's like the root of Kamala's characters is finding out who she is. It's
Real.
not she's a Pakistan. She's not. It's not like she's a Pakistani. She's not a. It's not that she's just a Pakistani superhero or she's just a superhero who happens to be Pakistani. People who say that, people who like who put that into the world that oh he's just a character but he's black or she's just a strong female lead but she's a lesbian like that's not how the world works. It's not how the world
Exactly.
works. Like nobody like no you see like people see what you are first. They don't just see oh it's no person like no nobody does that. Nobody does that. Like the fact that you want people the fact that you want minorities to be seen that way it's like that just comes from a place of privilege, honestly. Because when people
Yeah.
just like no offense, Bryce, but people look at you, you're just a white guy. Like you're just another
No,
guy.
that
You're just another dude.
I always
Trevor.
find it weird when people say no offense, Brian. Like, because I've gotten that a few times, like either like as a male or like a white. No, like I'm not like. I understand.
Straight white male in America, Cracker.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you
Yeah,
go
but
back to your
like
loving relationship with your father, bastard?
when people look at me and June, they kind of think something different. They don't look at us as like the normal
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I get called
it's
Yellow
a
Scourge.
different thing.
I should
Yeah,
fire
they look at us differently. They see us for who we are. They see us
Chinese.
for our skin color. They see us for our features first. They don't just see us as people first, and it's a privileged way to think about the world. It's a very privileged way to think about the world. And even like the his criticism of Eternals was that he couldn't believe, like he thought that it was unbelievable that there were about there were about 8 people from space and they weren't all white. Like like how do you
He's just
what
racist.
type of
Mhm.
and that's the weird part. It's like that's a really weird part. It's like I wouldn't call him racist, but
Ignorant.
he's like severely ignorant. Like he kind of
Yeah.
has this
Can I
veiled
ask
sense of
him
like
what does
a
he? I
defense
wonder what he
mechanism.
thinks of Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, does he
Yeah.
realize the actress who plays Gamora or the actress who plays Mantis? Like, it's just that
Not all white people.
it's just that yeah, it's just that they're in fancy or even Batista. Like, they're just in
Yeah, exactly.
goofy makeup, so haha. Like,
You may
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
you don't have to register like their actual skin color, I guess. But it's like, I don't know. Honestly,
Yeah,
I never thought about that
it's
before. Like all the all the PLCs in Guardians of the Galaxy are like
Aliens.
modified skin wise in some way.
Oh man. Oh man. The MCU, man. There's a lot of shit going on. The MCU. So that's a lot of stuff.
yeah,
San
there's
Diego.
about a gajillion things announced 2 weeks ago.
Shout out all the VFX artists who's just like starving right now. They haven't seen their family in like weeks. The boss hates them. Their coworker just shot
I
themselves with a
legitimately
gun
hope
right
they
next
like
to
start to
themselves.
unionize soon. Like they need
No,
to.
you know what I
Like
think what's happening?
hmm.
I think what's happening. I feel like I have this weird like intuition thing that in about 5 or 6 years, maybe after like Secret Wars comes out,
To me, I feel like it
there's gonna be
has to
a
happen
documentary
before.
that comes out. No, there's gonna be a documentary that comes out, and it's just gonna be from inside Marvel Studios' random VFX houses, and it's literally just gonna be like Amazon. Like it's gonna be like those Amazon warehouses where unionization isn't like encouraged. Like they just have like they don't have air conditioning in there. It's
They
just
have like this.
computers, like a giant studio,
They
like a little studio. It's like there's no air vents, there's
dry
no
box.
windows or anything.
Like the place is set up like fuck. I don't know like what's it's called, but it's like those prisons where like they have like the tower in the middle. Prison cells are like on the outside, so like they're always like watching in, and it's just Kevin Feige's face in the middle, just always watching them as they
Oh
fucking
man.
plug away at their work. I gotta look up what this fucking thing is called.
No, yeah, like you walk the halls and it's just a poster of Kevin Feige's face and the eyes follow you as you walk.
There's like a
I just
dry box next to the bathroom where you can just
A
like go like take like a
panopticon.
5 minute break.
That's what it's
and just
called.
cry. You can just man.
A panopticon. That'll be the thumbnail. Is a panopticon.
oh yeah, like you just like there's like the Marvel Studios headquarters, and then there's just an elevator and just all the VFX houses in the basement.
It's like a
It's like
sweatshop.
everything in there.
It's like no
Like a
wonder
literal
the VFX is so shitty. They have a little 9-year-old Thai boy doing it.
yeah. Yeah, man, I really feel bad for them. I hope they do unionize before Secret Wars or even Kang Dynasty, because honestly, I feel
Honestly,
like
before any of these fucking movies, like before any of these movies start to come out,
honestly,
like
really,
Do it now. Do it now. The
because
VFX.
like the general populace is starting to like become aware of it, and I think they even like I just saw a thing where like they asked like the She-Hulk writers about it or like something like or like
Mhm.
whoever the showrunner
Yeah,
is, like they asked them about it, and so like it's clearly gaining traction. It's just a matter of like action being taken at this point, and like
Hey yo,
because like
Taika
yeah,
Waititi.
to me, like they hold a lot of like. It is tough because it is their job and they need money, but like they do hold a
Mhm.
lot of power in terms of like, listen, your movie's not fucking coming out. if we don't want it to come out. Like, if everybody says no to them, they're just fucked.
My face,
Yeah.
my face when I'm in the theater, and then I'm watching Kang Dynasty, but fucking like there's no characters, and it's just dick.
It's just all green screen. Fucking.
It's just green screen.
Oh my god, Iron Man's back, and then it's just like a guy like that looks like Robert Downey Jr. that they were gonna CG double.
I feel like honestly, like if they like if all VFX houses really, because I feel like it should be like it should be like a an industry wide. If all VFX houses kind of did that thing where all like crews were doing were they did last year where they like shut down for like an entire day and made Hollywood panic so badly that they just resolved it in like one day. Honestly, if you just let them unionize, like that's that's really what you just need to do. Like I think like the thing is with like Marvel is just like they're so like it's
just too much.
Clear that they're putting so much pressure on their VFX artists, and it's not just like the quantity of projects that they have coming out every year. It's the fact that they really just go back and they just keep like, can you change that? Like I think they just need like a solid idea of what they want to do. Just give it to them and just let it happen, whatever happens.
Well, that's the thing is like it's very much because of that quantity and because of, like the deadlines that they set. Like they set these they set the deadline and then it's like, okay, we'll figure it out later. And like they need to like realize or like hopefully just incorporate that no, these things take fucking time. Like Iron Man wasn't made in a week. Like they didn't like rush the first Iron Man movie and they shouldn't be rushing the next Avengers movie. Like let it come out when it's ready. And like they just haven't been like realizing or adapting that mentality. Shout out Black Adam for delaying that movie and letting it come out in October. I don't know if that was actually like a valid decision in terms of that, like letting it finish, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
I feel like they really just stress out those VFX people because because I remember like watching like these like documentaries and behind the scenes videos where like they're working on like previs 5 years in advance, so that you just have people who are just straight up like it's like 2013 and you're working on a movie that's going to come out in 2019. You're like, oh no, I'm fine, man. Like I can do this, man. I'm really enjoying my job. I'm loving my job. like
that's Spider-Man, right?
Makes these movies. Like who do you think leaks these movies? It's obviously the VFX people because they hate working on it. Like I feel like that's a lot. Like I feel like that's the logical explanation. If they just treat these VFX people better, they're gonna have less leaks because it's very clear that there's like a separation between what happens during filming and what happens in like the art department. I feel like there's one group chat where they all just talk about what's happening during production and they just sell it to some journalists because they just hate the production so badly. Like even that's like all that stuff that leaked from No Way Home and like even like Black Panther. Like how do you leak a picture of Doctor Doom before the movie comes out? Like 5 or 6 months in advance. They leaked a picture of him.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was. Wow. It's previs, but they leaked it. Like that's even that stuff from like Multiverse Madness. How do they get away with that?
Oh yeah, like that. I remember seeing the previs for like fucking Xavier, and it was like him. Fucking. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like these people hate working on these movies. Why do you think there's leaks? Like just treat them.
I feel like it's kind of deliberate though. Like it creates like. It's like, this isn't something I'm supposed to see. Like, I wasn't supposed to hear about that.
No, because I remember Amon Vellani saying that there were. I remember Amon Vellani saying that there were like very deliberate leaks that Marvel puts out sometimes, especially during the Endgame era, which is believable. I kind of believe that because that's smart. It generates hype anyways. It generates marketing and all that. So I get it, but at the same time, kind of like. If you really just want a tighter ship, just treat these people better. Like you're not getting leaks about Dune 2.
No, nobody
Nah.
gives a shit about
Or like
Dune 2.
Avatar 2. Like, you're
Nobody.
not. Because you know why?
Well, it's like,
They
what
all
are you
love
gonna leak? What are you gonna
Sand.
leak about Dune
Sand.
2? It's
it.
they
I go
use
to
Just read the
desert
book.
power. Desert power.
Shout out
Guys, this is how
Iman.
Florence Pugh looks in the
Shout out
previs.
Iman, by the way. If I have beef with one of your burner accounts in the IGCC, I apologize. But at the same time, I probably beef with you
My
because you had a
fault,
trash
G.
opinion. My fault. My fault. Oh man, that whole
One day
that
we're just
whole.
gonna end up bullying Amon Vellani.
Hey man. Hey man. Hey man. If her opinion just doesn't intersect with mine,
I just want to ask
that's what
Amon
happens.
Vellani one thing. Would you spend 5 hours in a Red Lobster?
Oh my god, we need to get her an interview. We need to get her an interview.
Get the interview.
Just-
Get the interview.
Our Regenerate Talk guest wish list right now consists of Garth Ennis at number 1 and then Iman Vellani at number 2.
I thought we
Maybe.
wanted like Ethan Van Sciver too.
Oh yeah, Ethan Fisk at number 3, and then maybe Mark Wade at number 4. Maybe Mark Wade at number 4. Just
Mark Wade's bottom of the barrel.
just bottom of the barrel. You don't want him. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Nothing
He's
against you,
like he's
Mark.
like the yeah, it's like he we interview him after our peak, like we have like our 100th episode and then 101 is just Mark Wade. Like that's it. Like we don't even mention him in the title.
It's like we have like the 100 episode be like, oh my god, guest appearance by Comics or Not, Blue Jay High Speed Aircraft, and then it's like, and then it's like we have like Mark Wade on like episode like 34, and it's like, that's the best. I'm just saying, Garth
we just
Ennis.
record. Like we go
Garth
through all
Ennis.
this. We go through like all this strife and struggle to get Wade down for an interview, and then we just don't release it until months later.
Garth Ennis, if you're hearing this, if anybody knows Garth Ennis' contact info, you can email me at comicasianyt@gmail.com. Just saying, we'd love to have him on. We'd love to have anybody on, except for Mark Wade, though. You kind of bottom the barrel. No offense.
Yeah,
Reverse
Mark Wade is the
psychology.
Meg of
We
our
say
show.
we don't. The Meg. Call me Jason Statham because I'm hunting for Megs.
Oh my god. Could you imagine a Mark Wade Regenerate Talk episode? Because you know how with like a hero story, it was just them sucking the fuck off of him. But it's
Mark Wade,
Shit,
what kind of coffee were you drinking when you were the greatest Flash story of all time? Beating bullets?
It's like I'd be in my chair and Mark would be like talking about shit, and then I'd be like, man, your Flash run was so fucking mid, bro. That shit was garbage, bro. What the fuck?
I'd be like, dude, what were you thinking when you wrote World's Finest?
How does it feel to know that Jeff Johns wrote a better Flash than you?
Oh my god, we just be passively aggressive, just like dogging him the entire time, just never make him want to come back on the show again.
I feel like we could get away with that with Chip Zdarsky because he would like roll punches with that. Like I feel like we'd have like a certain point where he'd
hilarious.
get disrespected.
Okay. So our list right now consists of Garth Ennis, Iman, Ethan Van Sciver, Chip Zdarsky, and then at number fucking 100, Mark Wade.
I saw this one tweet, and it's like one of my favorite tweets now. It was from Chip Zdarsky, and it was like somebody said Daredevil cries during sex, and it's like, and he replied to it, and he's like, "Listen, he cries before sex, after sex, and like thinking about sex, but during sex, he has a fucking job to do, or something like something along those lines."
Oh man!
Okay,
dude.
it says Matt Murdock cries during sex. He said, "Sorry, he cries before sex, he cries after sex, but never during sex. During sex, he has a fucking job to do." Exact quote.
God, he's hilarious. He's actually hilarious.
Oh man, I'm just thinking about Regenerate Talk just having like a major guest host on, and we just like kind of just like don't give a shit, and we're like talking over them, and we're just like yelling at each other over the phone. That'd be fucking.
Yeah, the entire time he was just sending Garfield panels in general.
Just Garfield panels, just gay porn.
Mark Wade, when are you writing for Garfield? Garth Ennis, when are you writing for Garfield?
Oh man,
I think Garfield's a right wanker. I fucking hate him. I think he's the epitome of Americana.
I'm saying every single time, like I see like a podcast have like a guest host on, they're always just sucking him the fuck off. And it's like with like Garth Ennis, I just ask him questions and just like wonder what the fuck was going on when he was writing half of this shit. It's like Preacher, okay. Like the first couple issues had a guy cut off his dick, shove it up his ass. The fuck was up with that?
I can vibe with that.
Yeah. It's like I can vibe with that.
Oh yeah,
cool. I just want to know what the fuck was going on. What the fuck he was on? Okay, it's like
no, The Boys. The Boys is the one that I'm like most curious about. Like Preacher, meh. The Punisher, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The Boys,
they're just ultra violent, but the Boys. Mm-mm.
Can we get Alan Moore too? Can we get Alan Moore? And can we ask him about? Dude, we started the series off talking about Alan Moore sex, and we need to ask him about it. We need to ask him what was going through his mind.
I think you lot are reading too much into it. I think comic books are a bit shite, man. You both of you might want to get life. I'm gonna go pray to my snake god and diss Grant Morrison on Twitter.
Beefing with Grant Morrison.
They had fucking wizard battles, bro. What are you talking about? They have wizard battles over Twitter.
They both take shrooms at the same times and go into the escape and just fight there.
It's like, it's like,
they transform into Batman Zerana and just start like going fucking ham on Alan Moore.
We need to get Grant Morrison on the show and just talk about psychedelics and shrooms the entire time.
We're all on psychedelics.
I'm not.
Like,
June will be the babysitter and just like fuck us over. I don't like the way my skin feels on my body. Do you like the way your skin feels on your body?
You should feel it out. There's bugs anywhere.
Go to the fourth world and
yeah, man. So,
anti-life equation. It's inside your girlfriend, Bryce. Look for it inside of her.
So what were you thinking with the 5G? Yeah, I didn't like it either. I just thought it wasn't, but hey, you know what? Hey, I want to rip off my skin anyways. I think I suppose I'll read it.
Else would be a pretty cool host to have on, just like regenerate talk, where like we don't suck them off and we're just
Frank Miller
having a good time.
Frank Miller.
Speaking of,
I wish we could have gotten like Frank Miller when he was writing Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder. I want that Frank Miller to. I want to see if there was any interviews around that time. Because
if you hear this, I don't care if you're gonna call me shit like Yellow Scourge. I'd love to have you on this show. I'd love to have you.
Oh, June, you know what we gotta do, man?
Jeff Loeb, Ethan Van Sciver double feature.
Love to have you in this one. We should just have the Comics Gate episode is just the episode with that it's the highest episode where we just have like Ethan Van Sciver, Chuck Dixon, all those fucking people on, and we're just arguing with them over modern comics. That'll be peak.
You know what, June? For that day, your name's gonna be Jonathan. Too much adjustment.
I can't.
Be too much for him.
Jeff Loeb can't comprehend
like, dude, what? You're American?
Oh man!
Are you sure you're American? I don't know.
We could have we could go to like a fucking cemetery after the 5 hours of Red Lobster and just like resurrect somebody like fucking Stan Lee or like
Steve Ditko. I want to talk with Steve Ditko.
You bored Steve Ditko and it's just a fucking hour of his ghostly spirit just like talking the biggest shit about Stan Lee. Oh man, the Jack Kirby and Stan Ditko from the Ghost episode would go hard.
Yeah, we need to do it like Ghost Adventures though. Like have like a like one of those like voice box things and just place it the gravestone. Just wait for it to say something. Like
Stan,
one
did
word every 2 minutes.
Stan, did your daughter abuse you before you died? Was blood taken from? Wasn't blood like that was a fucking weird period where like people were like speculating he was being abused and all that, and
Yeah.
he like got blood taken from him or some shit, like so weird.
You're gonna clone Stanley. Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, man. Coco. Oh man, guess. If they want to come, just email me at communication.yt.com.
Any comic creator.
Any comic creator. We'll love to have anybody. I don't give a shit if you're Chuck Dixon. You're gonna call me like
you know,
like
I want to get my favorite comic creator on here, a guy who suggested student therapy for a fellow friend. I want to get Hunter on here. I want to ask him about his fucking, I don't know. Didn't they call a comic a hero story or some shit?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What?
I'll ask him about that. You don't remember this?
Bryce,
No, I don't.
Bryce, get your dad to dress up as Batman. It'd be the perfect time.
My dad could beat up your dad. Fucking loser. Let's just make we'll just go back to like fucking middle school like logic and just be like, yeah, my dad could beat
like
up your dad, pussy.
It'll be
like that scene from Spy
on
Kids.
video Regenerate Talk episode, and it's just Bryce with his dad in a Batman suit, and Bryce's dad's like, "What the fuck am I doing here? Why the fuck did you make me do this?" And he's like, Bryce is like, "Shut up!
Dad, get the fuck in here." Were you gonna say it's like the scene in Spy Kids where like throws the guy through the window? Because that's like, I mean, when you said Spy Kids, I just immediately fucking kicks the guy through like the second story window, and then everybody's like, "Yeah, my dad fucking rocks."
Oh,
oh my god, bro. Yeah. Man, it's so strange. I feel like we got so off topic. We got on here to talk about how Batgirl was horribly managed. We ended up talking about I don't even know.
Wait.
Fucking resurrecting Stanley and Steve Ditko for an interview.
I'm just saying, bro, that's what makes the Regenerate Talk episode just like that much better, because we're just like rambling half of the time, just like fucking bullshit.
It flows. It feels like it flows at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
We don't have talking points like Geek Side has. We're just here talking about comic books.
Oh, you can't be serious right now. You can't be
serious. Hey man.
Can't be serious right now. You know what? No man, I quit.
No, man, you can't, man. Come on, man. Don't do that, man. You can't, man.
And that's that episode of Regenerate Talk. Thank you for coming.
Did the bot actually leave? Ty, you still there?
Yeah, I'm back now.
Oh man, but yeah. Anyways, that has been Regenerate Talk. This is once again a rebranding of the Geek Side, because our former co-host Seth has a drug addiction that he should really get help for. It's really hurting his friends and loved ones. It's like, dude, it's like I could look past like the robbing, but once he shot up that that family of 4 outside the Walmart for money, it's just it's just horrible, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's gonna talk. I'm thinking co-host.
If you need a hookup, just let me know.
We'll be on Teriyaki Asian again. This will be a Teriyaki Asian episode. I'm back on that account again. Ty's back on Negro Geek, but it's called Geekforhire now. And Bryce,
yeah,
I got a shit.
Yeah, he's got a shit. Anyways, bye. Have a good one. Drink water. Okay, bye.
Bye now.